This is just my personal opinion. I think all that is listed on the board cannot be qualified as sammāsamādhi, because the sammāsamādhi have to be accompanied by the 7 other factors in the Noble Eightfold Path. To make it short, to enable it to call a sammāsamādhi, first the Noble Eightfold Path have to be there. So how to understand, how to start the Noble Eightfold Path? Then you have to start from gaining the vichak through the understanding of conditionality. This is how I understood from what I heard. And when I heard it, I think it makes sense to me. Because if not, you always talk about sammāsamādhi equal to the 4 jhana, first, second, third, and fourth jhana. But what are the 4 jhana? If the 4 jhana can be attained through different level of concentration, without samadhi, it cannot be called sammāsamādhi. Just like this one, I believe that the composure is just a platform that make our mind ready to further continue to understand the conditionality. Then once you have understood the conditionality, then it started the Noble Eightfold Path. And the end result of the Noble Eightfold Path is the sammāsamādhi. Of course, sammāsamādhi will lead to liberation. This is how I understood.
So what do you mean to say that you can have a state of mind that can be qualified as jhana, or like first jhana, but that may not be sammāsamādhi?
Correct.
So I'm looking at page 78, Jhana Sutta. And I need Bhante's clarification on this.
Okay.
Yeah.
78, all right. Okay, what do you want to clarify?
In this sutta, it says, depending on the first meditation, I speak of the evaporation of the inflows. Depending on second meditation, etc., the base of infinite space, the base of consciousness, nothingness, neither perception nor non-perception, I speak of the evaporation of inflows. And then in the second paragraph, it says, the monk leaves after having attained the first meditation, second meditation, third meditation, fourth meditation. But it did not say that it has to go into the arupa.
You look at the note 21b.
The 4 aggregates not shown while practicing the formless?
It's mentioned in the sutta, but I did not quote it.
In the original sutta?
In the original, it is mentioned. But when they go into the arupas, they don't contemplate form. Because it's arupa, no form. They contemplate the 4 aggregates. Except for the last one. Neither perception nor non-perception, and the succession of feeling and perception. There they cannot contemplate, because there's no perception. Or there's hardly any perception.
Yes, but does it mean that according to this sutta, then in order to achieve this total evaporation of the inflows, one will have to practice from the arupa to the...
No. It depends, any one of them. Okay.
Bhante, I'm not sure if I'm jumping the gun here. Now, in one of suttas, you have passaddhi, and after that, it is samadhi. Alright? Passaddhi is translated here as tranquility, and samadhi as composure. My question is, can Bhante elaborate on the difference between these two in terms of characteristics and experience? Just be clear that we are on the same page.
Samadhi's job is different from tranquility. Samadhi is the process of adjusting the mind while calming emotions so that it can be placed properly on whatever that wants to be attended to. Tranquility is just peace, just peacefulness, and usually it's the bodily tranquility which can be felt very obviously when you are meditating. When you're meditating and your mind settles down, you can feel that tranquility in the body, peaceful and calm, and you can feel that the body is very erect and like it's very immovable, very firm, but it's not tight, but it's easy and comfortable and peaceful. You also have a similar mental quality, but whereas samadhi is what I just described just now. Right, this is just my opinion. Okay, you can chew on it.
Does it mean any level of jhana can be qualified as a sammāsamādhi?
Provided it is accompanied by the 7
Yes.
practice of the Noble Eightfold Path.
So you don't need to attain fourth jhana.
No.
Oh,
not
even
necessary.
first jhana can also. Oh yes.
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 It's very obvious when we look at so many stories in the Vinaya Pitaka and in the suttas, which describe people listening to the Dhamma talk given by the Buddha and getting the Dhammacakku, attaining stream entry. They were not meditators. They were just lay people, and some of them were even, playboys before that. They just sat and listened and they got enlightened. And there was one case, Super Buddha Sutta. It's in Udana. There's a leper by the name of Super Buddha. Super Buddha, SUPP, Super Buddha. There's this leper who saw a lot of people gathering to listen to a Dhamma talk, and he was thinking that there was some festival on, so he could go join in and get something out of it. So he sat at the fringe of the assembly, because he's a leper, people will run away if he came too near. And as he was listening to the Dhamma talk, he became a Sotapan. He got the Dhammacakku. I also hear another story. I don't know whether it's from the commentary or not. There was a thief, a pickpocket, who came to listen to the Dhamma talk. Because there's such a big assembly, he came with the evil intention of pickpocketing. But as he was listening to the Dhamma talk, he became a Sotapan. So it's obvious that these people were not jhana practitioners before that. They attained the jhana, maybe momentarily, while they were listening to the Dhamma talk. And that moment of composure, that degree of composure, was enough for them to penetrate the Dhamma. But having said that, the degree of samadhi that is required for a person to penetrate into the Dhamma and attain enlightenment is variable. It depends on the individual. Yeah? Some people need just a modicum amount of composure. Some people, because their defilements are so thick, they have to get through all the jhanas, and go to get very high levels of samadhi and penetrate into very, very detailed analysis of mind and matter before they are satisfied and can get enlightened. So that's why the Buddha taught so many methods to different people, because different people have got different needs and talents.
Dandy. In page 112.
112.
Yes.
Okay.
Nechata Sutta.
Yes.
In Nechata Sutta, we can see 10 sama.
Yes.
Samadhi, sama sankappa.
Right.
Okay. At the end is a sama vibhuti.
Yes.
So, above 8 is the 8 noble path.
Yes.
But before the sama vibhuti, there's a samanyana.
Yes.
What does it mean?
Samanyana, actually, if you look at it from the Noble Eightfold Path factors, after right samadhi, you have to go back to samadhi. It is actually cyclical, it's actually a circle, because right samadhi is not knowledge, it's not wisdom, it's just composure of the mind. Preparing the mind, like I said, samadhi means preparing the mind so that it can be placed well, focused on what you want to do. So when the mind is composed, then the right view will be updated. You know what I mean? According to the current state of mind. So that right view is right knowledge.
So it means samanyana is the integration of all 8 fold paths, 8 noble paths.
It's not so-called integration, the culmination.
A combination.
Culmination. The end result.
Or end result.
End results.
End result of the combination of 8 noble paths.
Yes. And then right vimutti, you could say, is a result actually. Right vimutti is the result. Right liberation is the result. But right knowledge is a culmination of the path factors.
Okay. And then at the page 96, there is Upanishad Sutta. There's Kayijnana. Yes. Is this the difference or same? Kayijnana or samanyana?
Oh, this one is a bit different. This Kaya Jnana is the one that comes after liberation. You know, it's like Paccavaikana. You go look back and know. This occurs very often in the suttas. They say his mind is liberated from the inflows, and then he knows that it is liberated. So that is the Kaya Jnana. It comes after liberation, knowing that you have been liberated.
It's equal to the Paccavaikana.
Yes. Whereas the other one is different. The other one in Michata Sutta,
Yes.
that one is
Before the Vimukti.
what the commentaries will say Maganyana.
Oh, my God. Oh, yes. So, Vimukti means Phalanyana, is it? No.
Vimutti is not jnana. You know, Vimutti is just a result.
Just,
Yeah.
yes.
Vimutti is just liberation.
After Vimukti, we got the Phalanyana.
No. After Vimutti is the Kaya Jnana. Kaya Jnana.
Yes.
Kaya Jnana, the knowledge that you have been liberated.
So, we cannot say Samanyana is equal to the Maganyana. Because Maganyana and Phalanyana is, how can I say it?
That's Abhidhamma, not in the suttas.
Oh, okay.
In the suttas, Magga and Phala can be far apart. Yes, can be far
okay.
apart.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
I just want to ask Bhante for a clarification, because Bhante just now said that right knowledge means it is a culmination of all the other rights. I want to refer to this page 96, Upanisa Sutta. I'm not sure if I would interpret right knowledge in this way, whether it is correct. I would say right knowledge is not just a culmination of all the other rights, but it would also include the ability, the knowledge and the ability to be able to turn the mind away, relinquishment, dispassion, and cessation before final liberation. Disenchantment, dispassion.
Disenchantment and dispassion are not actually classified as knowledges, you know. The Buddha always likes to use certain words that actually cover a range of things. Jhana also has a range, you know, of low end and high end. Sambhajanya also has a range of low end and high end. Jnana also has a range. Right? So Yatha Buddha Jnana Dasana is also Jnana. Right? And that Yatha Buddha Jnana Dasana also has a range. And from there you go to Nibbida, which is disenchantment. Disenchantment is not classified as a jnana in the suttas, but it is classified as a jnana in the classical insight knowledges in the Visuddhimagga. Also, viraga is not classified as a jnana. So, Yatha Buddha Jnana Dasana is one form of jnana. And then the other jnana is Kaya Jnana, which occurs after Vimutti, after liberation. The ones before Vimutti probably covers a range, excluding and disenchantment and dispassion.
I would think that the knowledge, the knowing that it is a dispassion, knowing that it is a disenchantment is actually right knowledge. Just the knowing itself. Is that not classified as right knowledge? If you just, when there's a dispassion and you know it's a dispassion, and disenchantment and you know, because the mind is able to actually know that it
of
is
course,
there.
you know,
Yeah.
if you know something, you can say it's knowledge by definition. You know, if you know something is a verb, and knowledge is a noun.
Knowledge, happiness, knowledge, joy.
There's also knowledge, awareness, you know, but the word knowledge has got connotations. You know, when you say awareness or consciousness or what's happening, that's a bit different from knowledge, right? Not the English nuances of the word knowledge has other implications. Whereas you say awareness, like, oh, I'm aware of sound, I'm aware of seeing. You know, there's awareness. You don't say, you know, there's knowledge of hearing, knowledge of seeing. But I guess in the same way, in the Pali idiom, we also don't use that. Although it is used in the Visuddhimagga to classify the insight knowledges. In fact, there's no such thing as insight knowledges in the suttas.
Yeah, just now Pandey said it is the culmination of the 8 factors, noble path factor. Can we say that it is the function of the 8 path factors? Because separately by itself, we can't get the things done.
Which one?
The 8 path factors, noble path factors.
What is the function?
The right knowledge, sammānyana, is the function, something like the function to
Well, you
make.
could say so, because when you say culmination, it also means that it depends on the 8 path factors
Yeah.
before it can happen.
Get the liberation, have this function
have this
only then.
jnana,
we
have this knowledge before liberation.
Can
Yeah.
we say that?
While I'm not so happy with the word function, culmination also implies
Okay.
that
okay.
there is a dependent on the other factors before it can happen. It is one affecting the other, and then finally you can get there. So in this particular sutta, supporting conditions, the Buddha is describing this in the Miccata Sutta.
Miccata
He is
Sutta,
describing it in a linear way. You know,
Linear
this
way?
yeah, this leads to this leads to this, this
Okay.
leads to this. But in practice, not necessarily so.
yeah.
It's actually cyclical. You know, you move here and then you go there and you go on.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
After this discussion, can we conclude that by the foundation of 8 noble paths, and then when we experience the anicca, dukkha, anatta, then we can call it samānyana. Can we call it?
Well, according to this Miccata Sutta, it seems that samānyana refers to the jnana of an arahant.
Yes.
It depends on how you want to interpret vimutti. If we say vimutti is only for arahants, you know, then
Yes.
samānyana would only refer to arahat. Arahata magga palanyana. But if you look at vimutti as a range,
Yes.
then you can apply that samānyana even to sotapan. Right? You have a low-end vimutti, which is a sotapan. You have a
Yes.
high-end vimutti, which is arahant.
Arahant. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay, let's look at the book first. Let's go to the pages on right samadhi, page 110. The first sutta is on Samadhi Parikhara Sutta, requisites of composure, where it is defined that right samadhi, sammāsamādhi, is the one-placeness of mind, equipped with the 7 factors of the Noble Eightfold Path. And this one is found not only in this sutta. If you look at the notes on the bottom there, you will see that the same terms are used in 1, 2, 3 other suttas. So altogether, 4 suttas defined sammāsamādhi as one-placeness of mind. All right? Equipped with the 7 factors of the Noble Eightfold Path. All right? Now take note of this. And you can see also on page 112, on page 112, wrongness, you can see that with right view, it leads to right liberation. So it seems that, even with right samadhi must be supported by the previous path factors, right? From right view until right mindfulness. Then it goes on, it flows to right samadhi, and from right samadhi, it goes to right knowledge, and then right liberation. And then you go on to page 114, you will see in Vibhanga Sutta, SN 45.8, that right samadhi is defined as the 4 jhanas. Right? If you look at the notes below, on page 115, note 34, you will see that it also occurs, this definition of sammāsamādhi as the 4 jhanas also occurs in 3 other suttas. Can you see that? Okay, so it looks like it's a stalemate. Yeah? 4 suttas define sammāsamādhi as one-placeness of mind. 4 suttas define sammāsamādhi as the 4 jhanas. Now, before we come to a conclusion about that, I would like to analyze what is samadhi. Now, I turn back to page 110. On page 110, Chula Vedala Sutta, MN 44, the excerpt from there, it says, the one-placedness of mind, friend Visakha, this is samadhi. The four establishments of mindfulness are the basis of samadhi. The four right kinds of striving are the requisites of samadhi. Okay? So here, one-placedness of mind is a definition for samadhi. So what is this one-placedness of mind? If you look on the left-hand side, it is actually cittassa ekagata. Right? Cittassa is of the mind. Ekagata is translated here as one-placedness. Now, the word analysis for ekagata shows that it comprises eka plus aga plus ta. Eka is one, and ta is a suffix that makes it into an abstract noun. The word aga is a bit more complicated. It has many different meanings. Tip, point, topmost, foremost, beginning, best, and place. For example, tip here refers to the tip of a grass. Point here refers to the point of an awl. Topmost refers to the top of a mountain, of a hill. There's a peak. Foremost is like, the foremost disciples of the Buddha, the Aggasavaka. And then beginning is like Aganya, the beginnings of the world. Best is like the best water, the best food. This is like, when food is donated to the Sangha, then the best food, the best drinks will go to the senior-most monk, and he will pass it down the line. So this is the best. Another one is Agacita, best mind. Okay, another meaning of aga is place. For example, danaga, a place for doing dana. And another one is called battaga. Battaga is a place for meals, dining hall or refectory. Okay, so for the popular translation of ekagata, one-pointedness of mind, is based on the meaning point. All right? And then my preferred translation is one-placedness, and this is based on the meaning of aga as place. Now, when the mind is in one place, that means it's not all over the place. So it means that it's kind of focused in a way. Okay, now the word focus is also a bit of a problem. This is one word that has different connotations. If we say focus, people might think that it is one-pointedness sort of focus. Like you concentrate on a thing. Focus and concentrate at one point, which is an idea that we are trying to deconstruct. That samadhi is not concentration, it's not focusing at a point. Samadhi, we have been translating it as composure. Composure, if you look at the English word composure, when you say composure, it doesn't give you the impression that it is focusing on a point, does it? It doesn't give you the impression that it is concentrated, right? It means being calm, not disturbed, unruffled by whatever happens to you. Let's have a look at the word focus. Now, according to my Oxford Advanced Learner's Dictionary, focus is a verb. One meaning is to give attention, effort, etc., to one particular subject, situation, or person rather than another. The second meaning is to adapt or be adjusted so that things can be seen clearly. Now, this sounds like what we want. The whole purpose of samadhi is so that the mind can be adjusted to see things clearly. It's not so much like the first meaning, to pay attention to one thing and exclude everything else. It's more like the second meaning, to adjust the mind so that it can see things clearly. It's not so much to focus on the object as to focus the lens of a camera. It's like focusing the lens of a camera. You're focusing the camera, not focusing on the point. So if you use focus in that way, you are trying to focus the mind more on the subject than on the object. Okay, you see the difference? You're focusing on the subject. You are working on the subject instead of on the object. So the adjective of focus is focused, which means either with your attention directed to what you want to do or with very clear aims. And this seems also like what we have in mind. Now, I also found out another sutta. It's called the Patama Samatha Niyama Sutta, in Anguttara Nikaya 5.151. It says, being endowed with 5 things, monks, one who listens to the true Dhamma is capable of entering the certainty of rightness in regard to wholesome things. With which 5? So what he's trying to say, to interpret it in a way that you can understand, he says that if a person has got 5 qualities and he listens to a Dhamma talk, then he is capable of entering the certainty of getting enlightened. The certainty of rightness here refers to, the word rightness, you can see here, samatha. It comes from the word samma. Samādhi, sammasankappa, sammawaca, and so forth, right. So the tongue at the back here makes it into an abstract noun. So it becomes rightness. So the certainty of rightness means that the rightness here refers to the Noble Eightfold Path, the 8 types of rightness, starting with right view, ending with right samadhi. And so if you have these 5 qualities when you listen to a Dhamma talk, you are capable of entering the certainty of being awakened sooner or later. Okay? And what are they? He does not despise the speech. He does not despise the speaker. He does not despise himself. Okay, that's already how many? 3. Okay, the next 2 are, he listens to the Dhamma with an undistracted mind, with a focused mind, and he pays wise attention. Now, if you look at the left-hand column, you will see that ekagacito is there. Right? Ekaga is one-placeness. Right? So, one-placeness of mind. Ekagacito here. Someone with a one-placeness of mind, meaning with a focused mind. His mind is not all over the place. He's undistracted. Okay? So, undistractedness is a synonym for a focused mind. If you are undistracted, it means that your mind is in one place, not all over the place. But that's not enough. That's one quality of the mind. Another quality of the mind is that he pays wise attention. So what I'm trying to point out here is that samadhi has got one function. Paying attention has got another function. 2 different functions. That's why it's 2 different qualities. Our minds are made up of different departments. Just like an organization, a corporation, it has the board of directors, and then you have the finance department, you have the HR department, you have the PR department, you have the marketing department. Different departments do their own jobs. And only when they can do their own jobs harmoniously can the organization function properly, right? Not effectively. So in the same way, there are also different departments of the mind. And all of them must function in a proper way before the mind can work efficiently. So here, samadhi, which is this undistractedness of mind, a focused mind, is one department. The other department is paying wise attention. But when the mind has attained samadhi, then you pay attention, making the mind pay attention where you want to in a wise way. Okay, there's a difference in the function. Now I want to look at the word samadhi. In Pali, it is defined, page 110, as ya chittasa ekagata, ayam samadhi, which means the mind's focused state. This is samadhi. Now, if you look at the word samadhi, samadhi is analyzed into sam, which means together or properly, and bring, and da, to put or place. And he has a verb in a passive voice, samādhiyati, to be properly brought together and put or placed. Okay, so if you look at the literal meaning of samadhi, it means to bring and place properly. Okay? To bring and place properly. Now, this is very different from the word composure, isn't it? Composure doesn't give you any sense of bringing and placing together. Composure only gives you the sense of being unruffled, right? Not being unruffled by emotions or whatever that appears in the field of awareness of the mind. So that's why I'm also not quite happy with the word composure. It lacks the element of placing properly. It lacks the element of adjusting itself. Therefore, I prefer to translate it with a new word, a combination of compose and focus. You see, composure means the state of being calm and in control of your feelings or behavior. And concentration, on the other hand, is sort of an exclusive attention on something, which is not what samadhi is all about. Samadhi is about, after you have studied and settled and unified the mind, then you place it properly in wherever you want to. You know, it's a proper placing of the mind. That is the last step of samatha practice. And focus here is to adapt or be adjusted so that things can be seen clearly. So therefore, I like to combine the two, compose and focus, to give it an element of direction. So combo focus, I would define it as a transitive verb, to adapt or be adjusted so that things can be seen clearly while calming and controlling the mind. And then combo focused as an adjective, meaning adapted or adjusted so that things can be seen clearly while being calm and in control of the mind. And combo focus meaning, as a noun, meaning the state of adapting or being adjusted so that things can be seen clearly while being calm and in control of the mind. So the definition of samadhi would be, in Pali again, ya cittassa ekagata ayam samadhi. The popular translation, the mind's one-pointedness. This is concentration. But my preferred translation is the mind's focus state. This is combo focus. The mind is composed and at the same time is focused enough to see things clearly. Okay? Okay, enough for this one, this section. We did not really come to D12 to figure out what is sammāsamādhi in the examples that were given. And I myself also couldn't find out which one can really be called sammāsamādhi. But I will give you a conclusion later on about what is sammāsamādhi, combining the two definitions. One is that it is one-placeness of mind supported by the 7 path factors, and the other one is the 4 jhanas. Okay?